God damn. God damn. I honestly didn't expect to be doing videos like this on my channel. I didn't want to do the current Boruto chapters. I wanted to kind of keep it to just the anime with Boruto, and we go back and talk about Naruto and stuff like that. But after reading the most recent Boruto chapter, I gotta talk about it. I gotta put my thoughts and feelings out in the world. And if you've clicked on this video, I'm gonna tell you right now, there absolutely are spoilers for Boruto chapter 56. It's very far ahead of the anime, and there's a ton of spoilers here that you definitely don't want to see or hear. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click off now. I'll give you a second while I talk about some other stuff. This chapter was incredible. They continue to keep pushing Boruto's manga, and oh my god, it's like out of this world good. I've seen some people online complaining about some things, but overall, I'm just super satisfied with the manga. It's so good, just the way every character's written, and there's always seems to be like a twist. It's not like Attack on Titan level twist, but it's always something to keep you coming back and just feeling surprised each time. So, in this chapter, we actually start off with Boruto getting interviewed on a TV show, which is similar to how Naruto is being interviewed in the movie and those chapters of the manga as well. And he's basically being interviewed as like the savior of Konoha because he teleported everybody away. So he feels very awkward about being on TV, and the fact that he has to hide the karma too makes it hard to be on TV. But he's literally like overwhelmed by the fact that everyone's saying that he saved the village. Then it cuts away to Kawaki getting worked on, and it looks like Amato repaired his arm. And not just repaired it like with a scientific ninja tool, he's given him his arm back. His fully functioning, working right arm is back. That's just how much more ahead Amato is than Katasuke and all the stuff the Leaf Village can do with scientific ninja tools. So that's pretty crazy. He said it came back from his cells, which very much interests me because if Amato can... Like, I mean, he did mention that it was only because Kawaki's like a scientific ninja tool that he could do it. We gotta talk about Sasuke possibly getting his arm back at this point. So Sasuke obviously lost the Rinnegan 2 chapters ago. And the story online has been, what's going to happen with that? What's going to happen with this? But with Sasuke losing the Rinnegan and now being down one arm, I've seen a lot of people online talking about, can he get his second arm back? Break out the Hashirama cells. I mean, there's definitely a chance they could do something, but there's no reason why Amato couldn't give him some sort of cyborg arm with all the stuff we're about to learn about in this particular chapter. There's got to be something that can be done for Sasuke's arm, or possibly even his Rinnegan. So we'll see what comes of that in the future, but he wasn't even in this chapter, so we didn't get any of Sasuke, which is kind of disappointing. We get a little banter with Sumire and Kawaki, and they're talking about how Sumire basically only took this job to just spend time with Kawaki because Kawaki spends time with Boruto. So Kawaki quickly surmises that Sumire likes Boruto, and when she gets all panicked about it, Katasuke says it's very obvious. So basically, at this point, the only person who doesn't know that Sumire likes Boruto is Boruto, of course, because that's just always how it is. The anime cut out the Sumire and Sarada interaction at the lab, so that was kind of weird. So I guess Sumire has no love for Boruto in the anime. Just so sad. As Amato watches Kawaki go to leave, he says, Kawaki, no, never mind, let's do it next time. Something is up with that. Amato's got to have something else up his sleeve, and everybody kind of gives him like a backhanded look. And Amato's definitely still very sus because he basically forced his way into the village. And it's so interesting that he's just casually sitting around. And as we find out later in the chapter, now he's basically made himself like Shikamaru and Naruto's hostage. But like, he's holding them hostage. It's kind of a weird way, but this guy seems to have thought of everything. I wonder if we're going to get any more backstory on him because who is this guy that's so smart and so able to come up with all these plans, and he's able to think of a way to defeat Jigen. He's infiltrated Kara. Like, did he decide to go into Kara to get Jigen, or was he already sucked in? Like, did Jigen kidnap him as a child? So Sarada, Mitsuki, Shikadai, Inojin, and Chojo are sitting around talking about Boruto, watching him on TV, and Sarada says that he's being all moonstruck, which I'm guessing means he's like starstruck from everything going on. But Shikadai quickly reminds her to cut him some slack because he's the one who's really going through this. You know, he's the one who just knows he's about to turn into Momoshiki. He destroyed Sasuke's Rinnegan. He attacked the teacher, the guy he admires the most in the world, which has got to be killing him inside. This conversation basically kind of just summarizes all those feelings and stuff like that. Mitsuki says, you know, maybe Shikamaru has an idea about this. So then we cut to Boruto sitting on top of his father's head on the monument wall, and two girls are looking up at him. They're like, Boruto, he's so cute. But putting that aside for this part, the big thing from this page really is that Boruto's no longer smiling. Boruto is starting to lose his smile, the same way that Momoshiki said he was going to lose everything. He's starting to lose that innocent, that feeling that Naruto had where he's always like, I can do this, something can be done. He goes to wave to the girls and realizes he's holding up his karma, which just makes him more depressed. And then Kawaki shows up and they have a conversation. And then the crazy part about this conversation is that Kawaki suggests that Boruto could put the karma on somebody else. Kawaki suggests to Boruto he could put the karma on somebody else. And then Kawaki suggests he puts it on Code. And then we learn that Code is the other guy, the other kid who was in the tubes after Kawaki got tested. Which is pretty funny because I've seen that as a big fan theory online before. And then we get to the meat. We get to the meat of this chapter. This is the exact part that I said, alright, I gotta talk about this. Something's gotta be done. We cut to Code, who's up in some sort of tundra. Naruto, Amato, Shikamaru are talking about him. Amato mentions that Code's the last inner car member left, which throws me off a bit because Delta's still alive, sort of, because she's like part drone. I'm not really sure how that's working out. But they mention that Code is the last one left, and if they're able to get rid of him, basically all the outers in Kara are going to fall apart because he's the last true inner. The Ten Tails is there still, and they got to work out how they're going to get rid of that. But Shikamaru says, you know, once we get rid of Code, we can take our time just figuring out how we're going to get rid of the Ten Tails. Doesn't matter. Once he's gone, we'll deal with it when we can. Amato then mentions that Code is special. And we cut away to probably what will be a ridiculously well-animated scene, I hope, of Code arriving at the base. And the two guards at the base basically say, you know, who are you? What do you want? And when Code introduces himself, they say, Boro's not here. Which Code just goes, you stupid. Like, he's so upset he's got to kill them. Like, he's just bothered by the whole thing. He's like, then again, you'd have to be dumb gatekeepers in this freezing backcountry. And they give him one last warning, and he's like, yeah, before you die. And we get to see what this band is on his head. Which is great, because I wanted to know. Kawaki is telling Boruto that Code survived the karma, but for some reason he wasn't able to become a vessel. Now, we really don't fully understand this because Amato seems to be unsure about it, Shikamaru seems to be unsure about it, Naruto, he doesn't know anything as usual. But Code has this white karma, which is like, it almost seems like it's a karma that can be imprinted on. So maybe then somebody could give him a possible vessel, or somebody could turn him to a possible vessel. Code activates his karma, which gives him two big claw hands. He jumps forward, and the guards pull out their scientific ninja tools, which is cool because they're obviously some type of Kara outers. And it's interesting that they have their own scientific ninja tools. Kara and like the whole shinobi world basically is so dived into the scientific ninja tools right now, it's crazy. It was like, here in the movie, you could put this on your wrist and use the Rasengan. Like, damn, that's cool. And now it's like everybody's chopped off their hand and put a giant gun on it. So Code uses his karma to shoot forward these like black bands that he has on his forehead, which is interesting because I've been waiting to find out what this damn thing is on his forehead this whole time. And they kind of come across the ground. And the interesting thing is he kind of uses them to teleport. Amato said he doesn't have space-time ninjutsu, but he's able to, like, pop out of the black band, much like Kimimaro popped out of the bones after he made that, like, bone minefield back all the way in the beginning of Naruto. So the one guard's like, behind you. Code comes right out of the black band, stabs him right through the chest. And as soon as the guy goes to shoot him, Code just throws his buddy right in front of him. Like, well, it's a classic move in anime. Just let me just use his body as cover. So one of the black bands appears across the other guard, and Code's fingers just come out of it, which is fucking crazy. And then he just moves one of his fingers and slices the man's throat like it's nothing. And then 2 seconds later, he's just like, moving around. Sure warmed me up a bit. It's pretty cold. Let's get inside. What a nice guy Code is. What a nice guy. Amato mentions that all the car members have been tampered with or modified in some way, but then he mentions that Code has actually been limited. He has limiters put on him to make him weaker, which Shikamaru can't believe. Why would he do this for Jigen? But Amato mentions that Code basically loves and worships Jigen. He loves the Otsutsuki. He's basically idolizes them, and he looks at them as gods. And he wants to become one because he didn't get to be the vessel. So he hates Kawaki for the fact that he was picked as the vessel as well. But the fact that he then mentions that Code is stronger than Jigen. Code is the endgame boss at this point, which is crazy. And not a few panels later does he mention that he's built cyborgs stronger than Jigen. So now we got Code and random cyborgs that are stronger than Jigen. So all of a sudden, we thought we got rid of the biggest problem, Ishiki. When Kawaki steps on him, he's dead. We're like, all right, cool, everything's good. Nope. Now you got Naruto's nerfed. Sasuke's nerfed. Code is all of a sudden the strongest guy in the world. And as we're going to see later, there's somebody else too. So Naruto mentions it's time to call a Hokage Summit. He's bringing back all the dead. You know, he says it's time to call a Gokage Summit so he can discuss everything with the 5 nations, which I'm interested to see, and I don't think this will happen. I'm very curious if the 5 nations will think to do anything against the Leaf. You know, I know obviously they're all pretty buddy-buddy, and now if they know that Naruto doesn't have Kurama, do they get tempted to try something? I mean, all these villages still want what's best for them, and they seem to be united pretty well. Like, obviously, Gaara will always stick by Naruto, but are these other people truly committed to Naruto like this, that they won't try anything? I'm just curious. I don't think it'll happen, but it's just an interesting point to see, like, will they just outright admit that Naruto's no longer the strongest person in the world? Like, we don't really know where he's going to fit on the scale right now. I'm going to say he's probably, like, he's probably right where he was at when he fought himself at the waterfall before he got the Kurama mode. So he's still got Sage mode, but he's definitely not anywhere near like what he was in the 4 Shinobi War. So, I mean, a whole village teaming up against him now could probably defeat him. But before, I would say, you know, send the whole ninja world after Naruto. He's going to smack them all down. Boruto says he's never thought about implanting somebody else with the karma, but now that Kawaki mentions it, it seems like it's possible. So Kawaki says that since we're supposed to come Otsutsuki anyway, why shouldn't we be able to do the same thing? And especially since you're getting more and more as time goes on regardless. You know, Boruto seems like he feels bad about doing this to somebody because eventually Code would then disappear if he was able to implant the karma on him. Kawaki mentions that you're going to disappear anyway, or you're going to die, so you might as well just do it. Kawaki says Code is strong. He's not the type of enemy you'd normally want to go up against for any reason, but the only reason he's considering it right now is because it's a chance to save Boruto. So you really see the connection between Kawaki and Boruto. You know, Kawaki loves Naruto so much, and I feel like it's almost like he wants to do this with Boruto to secretly keep Naruto happy. He's like, yeah, Boruto, we're good friends because your father's happy, and I like your dad. He's like, he's actually my dad too now, so please. Boruto mentions that they can't depend on Naruto forever, considering he's lost Kurama. So Boruto mentions that Kawaki and him are going to have to train, and it's kind of set off like this badass moment, and I'm starting to feel a little time skippy coming. I don't know if you could hear me snapping there, but I wasn't supposed to be picked up by the microphone. We could be heading towards this time skip soon. Code arrives inside the building, and he greets a man sitting there, and he calls him Bug. I think in Japanese he's going to be called Bug, but its name is Bug. It's supposed to be like computer bug. And he's pretty shocked to see that Code's there, and Code just drops the bomb on him. He says, Jigen's dead, probably Boro too. And he's like, what? And then Code tells him, like, I know you have androids here for Boro that you were storing against Jigen's wishes, which Bug starts to panic. He's like, wait. And then he just looks at Code's eyes and goes, you know what? You'll give me money, right? So he shows him this chamber, basically. And Bug's starting to get nervous. He's like, what is Code stirring up right now? So we get to see the final shot of Ada. And Code says that you who knows everything in this world. So I don't really know what that means. I don't know who Ada is. I don't know how she's going to know everything in the world. She's definitely one of the cyborgs that's stronger than Jigen. So now we have Code and Ada and her moon and sun star skirt gonna team up to destroy the Leaf and probably everybody. Obviously Code's goal is to feed Boruto and Kawaki to the Ten Tails. And with somebody stronger than Jigen and him himself being stronger than Jigen, who the hell knows what's gonna happen. Alright guys, if you like my review / summary of this chapter, please let me know in the comments below. And let me know what you think's gonna happen. Tell me down below what you think's gonna happen. Who is Ada really gonna be stronger than Jigen? Is Code gonna get these limiters taken off him? Like what do you think is gonna happen? Are we close to the time skip? Let me know, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.